This is a three-year chart, and you can see the move to the upside after that golden cross, and you saw the golden cross here yesterday. Again, this is a bullish signal, but not all of the times, because when you have choppy trading, it may be a false signal.
When we had a bounce of this magnitude off the lows, we were at like 3,000, 3,500 on Bitcoin. We went to about 6,000, which was 100% gain. And people were still so scared that the lows weren't in. I mean, no one was really shouting that, oh my goodness, here's the new bull market. Here we are. All we've done is go up, basically 35% off the lows versus 100 back in 2007, 18 and 19. And we have such bullish sentiment. And that's a concern.
The Bitcoin price is slumping along with prices of other major cryptocurrencies. This is after a fantastic month-long rally that saw Bitcoin prices rise from the $18,000 rejoin to over $23,700 at its recent peak. This rally was called out by Gareth Soloway, a professional trader and a markets analyst, who warned that the bull market was not yet in. He had called the recent price hike a bear rally that was not going to last, and it seems he's right. So, when are we going to see a pump in Bitcoin prices? He answers that question in today's video, so be sure to stay tuned. But before you go on, why not hit that subscribe button? These are critical times in the market, and you need the best analysis to win in this game. Subscribe, and let's proceed with today's video.
Yeah, so I think for me, this is very reminiscent. We're seeing this big pump up recently. And I think for me, it's looking at it in a holistic approach and saying, okay, to me, this looks very much like during the dot-com collapse when we had these bounces, and it got people very bullish very quickly because we all remember how amazing 2021 was. And it was 2000 and 1999 back then. And so you get this kind of sentiment rush of greatness and like, oh my God, I can make the same amount of money I made in 2021. Problem is, it's usually during the bear market here, it's usually going to be kind of a bear trap or a bull trap. So I think that's for me the issue here, is that it makes me think we still have some downside to go in Bitcoin. But I do think in 2023 we finally bottom out. I think regulation will help with that, and I think finally, people will start to view at least Bitcoin as more of a safety gold, kind of digital gold hedge versus the overall stock market. So about 75%, give or take, that it's not in yet, that the lows are not in, just based on the technicals as well as the psychological sentiment. So again, there is a 25% chance it is. I mean, and again, as a technical trader, we have to gauge that and kind of be like, all right, that's the chance. So if you're going to go short crypto, you have to take that factor that you could be wrong 25% of the time into account. So it's the risk factors when you're analyzing probabilities give you the ability to do proper position size, proper risk, right? And that's really, really important for traders and investors.
Bitcoin is currently decoupled from the macroeconomic situations. We have seen the #1 cryptocurrency trend on its own terms, separately from other markets, though correlations were initially made with the cryptocurrency price movement and that of tech stocks. But we're beginning to see that the temperature of regulations from the government agencies has a greater pull on the price, and unfortunately, it's a negative pull. This issue is closely tied with the FTX collapse, an incident that saw Bitcoin drop to its lowest price in the last 2 years. Even when the Fed increased interest rates by 25 basis points recently, Bitcoin didn't bulge. Instead, the cryptocurrency continued in its upward trajectory. But now that we're seeing some tightening on regulation, it seems that the market has to retest its valuation. Gareth believes that most of these rallies aren't substantial, but pumped by the sentiments that 2023 could be like 2021, when Bitcoin rallied to over $67,000. He thinks that there's a 75% chance that this is not the bottom. There's a huge chance that the Bitcoin price could slump further before we begin to see sustainable price rally. Let's take a closer look at what we can learn from the past.
Like if you go to past bear markets in stocks, commodities, even past in crypto, I mean, look at 2018 into 2019 in crypto, is when we had a bounce of this magnitude off the lows. We were at like 3,000, 3,500 on Bitcoin. We went to about 6,000, which was 100% gain. And people were still so scared that the lows weren't in. I mean, no one was really shouting that, oh my goodness, here's the new bull market. Here we are. All we've done is go up, basically 35% off the lows versus 100 back in 2007, 18 and 19. and we have such bullish sentiment. And that's a concern, because past market bottoms, now this could be different, but past market bottoms, which tells me it's probability, are telling me to not get too excited just yet. Any good trader has to be able to pivot when the charts tell them to pivot. So right now, and we can take a look at my chart if that's cool with you, is we can see that, again, this move up has been a fantastic move in Bitcoin. But again, if we look at the bigger picture, it's still a very small move in the overall market, right? So if you look at this high down. And so for me, I look at that and I say, okay, we haven't even taken out this high at 25,000, which was kind of even a little bit above that. If you look at the 2021 level here, right? So if we go to the lows of 2021, basically it crosses right through this area here, right? So this area and then this area. So for me, in the very least, we would need to see Bitcoin trade above 30 for me to even start to kind of think that maybe the lows are in. And again, it makes a lot of sense, right? If we can establish ourselves back above this level, now you're back above some very pivotal levels in the last couple of years in Bitcoin's history. And you could argue that you're kind of closer to the highs at that point. You're getting closer to that 50% closer to the highs versus the lows on the chart. So I think 30,000 for me would be a pivotal level. There is one more level that I want to show you here, which is it was a key breakdown point. So you just want to watch this as well. You have your pivot lows here connecting perfectly to here, and we could see we broke there. So if we did get above 30, we would want to see what happens at 42. But already at 42, you could still have the lows in. So I think 30,000 for me is really a big pivotal level here.
Analysts are drawing a lot of parallels from the previous bull runs, and the most important one is that of 2021 that took Bitcoin to its all-time high. Now, there's much talk about the Golden Cross, which was last seen 2 months before Bitcoin rallied to its all-time high price in 2021. This Golden Cross has happened again at the end of this recent rally. Is this a signal that a bull run is about to kickstart? In case you're confused about what a Golden Cross is, here's a simple explanation. 3 things have to happen. 1. There has to be a downtrend where the shorter-term moving average, MA, is below the longer-term moving average. 2. The market has to reverse and the shorter-term moving average crosses over the longer-term moving average. And 3. There has to be a continued uptrend and the shorter-term moving average stays above the longer-term moving average. We've only seen Golden Crosses 6 times in about the last 8 years, and most times they're the signal of massive bull runs. Is this another opportunity? Gareth Soloway isn't convinced. He thinks that Bitcoin has to cross $30,000 first.
I do think it's going to be the digital gold, right? It's not really something where people are going to be doing transactions consistently. I think it's one way to send money, like if you wanted to send some money to someone in another country very, very easily. But for the most part, you're not going to be buying your Starbucks with Bitcoin. So I think for the most part, the institutions are already buying it as a hedge against future money printing, which even though I've said I think the Fed would be handcuffed over the next year or so, there will be a point where they have to go back to it, probably when unemployment starts to spike really quite a bit higher, maybe at 5 or 7 or 10%, they're going to be forced to print again. And that's where that digital gold really gains value, where Bitcoin can really skyrocket. So I think that definitely is interesting to look at.
I was just interested. I know you're mostly an equities trader and mostly trade Bitcoin as well, but do you have any opinion on like Ethereum and some of these altcoins as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, in chart terms anyways, Ethereum to me, same kind of thing. If Bitcoin's going to roll over, I think Ethereum comes in as well. But what I love about Ethereum is that if we actually get to a point, right, where we have the regulation and we know what a security is, and I'm assuming that Ethereum will be classified as a security, then I think that you have some real interest in investing behind it. And again, to me, this Ethereum would be like Apple Computer, right? Or like Apple in terms of they have so many things built on top of their platforms where there is a lot of value here. Now, again, I don't know a lot about some of the altcoins, like when you go down past the top 20, but I mean, even look at Solana, right? Solana can process 50,000 transactions per second, even faster than Ethereum. I mean, there's definitely some use cases for this stuff.
On-chain analyst Willy Woo recently tweeted that the trade movements of stable coins indicates that institutional investors were the ones making crypto purchases that led to last month's rally. This confirms Gareth's prediction that Bitcoin would play the role of a hedge asset now rather than being a high-yield investment, especially for institutional investment. This approach could help Bitcoin holders to lower their expectations and instead see Bitcoin as digital gold that can help them hedge against inflation or currency devaluation. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section below. If you learned something new, then give this video a like and subscribe to get more market updates.